Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
What I am about to say should not be taken as insulting toward Joan Davis. I think Joan Davis was probably a delightful woman. The problem was that she came off as Lucille Ball light. She was missing something. And although she was funny, she was wacky, she was zany, she had a skill that Lucille Ball had to have coached into doing, and Joan Davis seemed to do it very freely and naturally. But Joan Davis, sadly, never achieved the same level of success as Lucille Ball did. See if you can figure it out, because this is an episode of the very funny Joan Davis Show. This was one of 3 shows that Joan Davis did on radio. I should say 4 shows she did on radio. She did the Seal Test Village Store from 43 to 45. She did this show, the Joan Davis Show, from 1945 to 1947. Then a 1-year Joan Davis Show from 47 to 48. And then a summer series, Leave It to Joan, in 1949. See if you can figure it out. She's got a great cast around her. We'll let you hear some of this. And, of course, let's listen to Harry Von Zell, Joan Davis's foil. In this episode of the Joan Davis Show, this was originally broadcast February 11th, 1946.
Poor Joan ain't got nobody. She's nobody's sweetheart now. Featuring the romantic singing of Andy Russell.
Amor, amor, amor.
With a great comedy cast, including Verna Felton, Shirley Mitchell, the music of Paul Weston and his orchestra, and yours sincerely, Harry Von Zell. And here's the star of our show, America's queen of comedy, Joan Davis. Oh, no, Joan, wait a minute. No, not again. Joan, stop yanking the strings of that harp. They're not meant to operate a yo-yo. Come here, will you? Joan, listen, I want to talk to you.
What do you want, Harry?
Oh, you ought to be ashamed. Joan, listen, I wanted to ask you if you got any Valentines yet.
Oh, yes, I just got a cute one from my friends, some of my friends who were living... Some friends who were... I can't, I'm so excited. They were looking for a place to live in Los Angeles, and they finally wound up in Australia.
Well, I know the housing situation is really terrible, but what did your friends say in the Valentine?
They said, the kangaroo is a lucky guy. From landlords, he need not crouch. His family fears no dispossess. They live in his front pouch.
Oh.
Swanville, USA, February 11th. Today, the citizens of Swanville, just like the citizens all over the nation, prepare to observe the birthday of that great American, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, that homey, simple man of the backwoods country. But nowhere in the country will you find a citizen more homely, more simple, and more backwards than in...
Joanie's Tea Room. Joan Davis speaking. Oh, hello, Mrs. Steeple. Gee, it was nice of you to call me all the way from Philadelphia to wish me a happy birthday. Do you remember when I was born in the little house on 3rd Street? I was the 3rd child. Then we moved to 6th Street, and there were 6 children in the family. Then we moved to 9th Street, and there were 9 kids. Then the store committed suicide. Why? Because Pop bought a house on 358th Street.
Say, Miss Davis.
What is it, Andy?
Well, tonight after we close up and all the customers are gone, would you object if I held a party in the tea room?
No, I wouldn't object, Andy, as long as the party is me. Any questions?
You don't understand, Miss Davis. I mean, I want to throw a party.
Throw a party? party? You mean you want to wrestle?
Joan, no. What Andy's trying to say is that we'd like to use the tea room to hold a birthday party.
A birthday party?
Sure.
Oh, gee, Harry, and I thought you didn't remember.
Well, why shouldn't we remember? Barbara Weatherby reminded us.
Barbara Weatherby reminded you that today is my birthday?
Huh?
What a pal.
Oh, no, she reminded us that today is her birthday.
Her birthday? What a pill. So you remember Barbara Weatherby's birthday, but you forget mine. But go ahead and have your old party here. I'll keep out of your way.
Well, where are you going, Joan?
I'm going in the kitchen and hemstitch a few old tea bags.
You can come on in, Barbara. Miss Davis just went into the kitchen.
Does she suspect anything?
No, sir. She hasn't the slightest idea that we're cooking up a surprise party for her. She thinks the birthday party is for you.
Oh, I'll bet she's furious. Oh, I can't wait to tease her about
Wait a minute. Here she comes.
Say, did anybody see my needle? Oh, hello, Babs.
Hello, Miss Davis. Well, aren't you going to wish me happy birthday?
Sure, happy birthday, Babs. You know, it's my birthday, too, today.
Your birthday? Really, Miss Davis? I'm surprised that one would be willing to discuss one's birthday when one has had as many as you.
Careful, Babs. One is not too old to beat one's stuffings out of one.
Well, really, Miss Davis, you should spend less time on your physical development and more on your mental. But all you ever do is fritter away your time.
Do what with my wit?
Fritter. Don't you know what fritter is?
Yeah, when two freighters get married, they have a little fritter.
Oh, Andy, that reminds me, you haven't given me my birthday kiss yet.
Oh, that's right, Barbara. Here's a kiss for your birthday.
Andy, it's my birthday.
And, Barbara, here's a kiss for your last birthday.
Andy, it's my birthday.
And, Barbara, here's a kiss for your next birthday.
Andy, it's my birthday.
Oh, yes, and Barbara, here's a kiss for Miss Davis's birthday.
Me and my big mouth. I'd get rid of it, but it's such a handy place to keep my teeth.
Oh, Joan, let's stop this now and get the tea room ready for the party, huh?
All right, you get it ready. I'm not going to be here anyway.
But, Miss Davis, you've got to be here.
Why?
Well, gee whiz, if you're not here, it'll spoil the whole party.
That's silly. One person doesn't make or break a party.
Well, it does, Joan. I was supposed to go to a party once. It was a shower, and because I didn't show up, the whole thing was spoiled.
Why? Were you bringing the guest of honor to the shower?
No, I was bringing the cake of swan to the shower. Sure, well... What's the matter? Everything. I don't think a shower is complete without Swan. Swell new white floating soap that's pure as fine Castiles, and the soap that's so mild, too. So mild the doctors recommend Swan for even a baby's tender skin. And if it's good for baby, it's got to be good for your hands and face, your tub or your shower. What a soap that Swan is, why, it's...
Please, Mr. Von Zell, we're here to convince Miss Davis to come to the party tonight, not to listen to you declaim.
Oh, declaim?
Yes.
Well, I still make the claim that Swan is a great soap. What are you going to do? Because Swan is so gentle and so hard-working, too. Just watch the way Swan goes into a lather cleaning up a stack of dishes. You really... Did I tell you this before?
No.
No. You really get suds that stand up and do a job, you know. And you'll declaim, Swan, 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 what a soap. Just as I've said...
What do you say, Miss Davis? Will you come to Barbara's party tonight?
Well, why should I? She hasn't even invited me.
Oh, really, Miss Davis? I invited you when I came in. What did you expect? A written invitation?
Sure, why not?
Well, Miss Davis, since when have you become so hoity-toity?
Hoity-toity?
Yes.
I'll see you're hoity and raise you toity.
Gosh, really, Miss Davis, won't you even come to the party for my sake?
Oh, Andy, I'd do anything for you. Why, I'd climb the deepest river. I'd swim the highest mountain. I'd even cross Hollywood and Vine in the pedestrian zone. And that's dangerous, you know. Now, what would you do for me?
I'd sing for you with my arms around you.
Wow, that's even more dangerous. But go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Andy, sing that swell tune you do in your new picture, Breakfast in Hollywood.
Well, while Andy sings, we'll take our break. February 11th, 1946, The Joan Davis Show, right here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
You may be wondering why I referred to Joan Davis as Lucille Ball Light. Well, after I Love Lucy came that top hit, sponsors wanted that same kind of wackiness and zaniness. And I Married Joan premiered in 1952. Joan Davis, the manic wife of a mild-mannered community judge, played by Jim Backus. How you could not get a hit out of those two, I don't understand. But it worked very well. And here's what's even stranger. While they didn't get the big rating success in their first 2 seasons, they got decent ratings. Got the top 25 in 1953-54. In the third year, the ratings tanked. Joan Davis started experiencing heart trouble. The series canceled in spring of 1955. And quite frankly, it was a better show in syndication. It ran for a number of years on a number of networks, including TBN. No, but the heart problems would be problematic for Joan Davis, as she would pass away in 1961 at the age of just 53 years of age in Palm Springs, California. Let's get back to the Joan Davis Show and the birthday party for Joni, February 11th, 1946, and I think that song is over.
Oh, wishing ring, wishing ring. Gee, how often I wish you'd give me a ring, Andy.
A diamond ring?
Oh, it doesn't matter. A diamond ring, a gold ring, silver ring, brass ring. You got an old cigar band you're not using? Yoo-hoo, Miss Davis, yoo-hoo!
Oh, it's Mrs. Rosella Hipperton.
Hello, Miss Davis and Mr. Russell and Miss Weatherby and Mr. Bonzel. Hello. Happy birthday, Barbara, dear.
Thank you, Mrs. Hipperton.
Say, Hippie, ain't you gonna wish me happy birthday? It's my birthday, too, you know.
Your birthday? Really, Miss Davis, I'm surprised that one would be willing to discuss one's birthday when one has had as many as you.
This one has more stuffing to beat out of one than the other one. Anyhow, I wouldn't talk about age if I were you, Hippie.
Is that so? Well, Miss Davis, I'm perfectly willing that the world should know that on my last birthday, I just turned 35.
That's right. When you turn 35, it comes out 53.
Joan, please. Oh, hey.
Huh?
Gee, Willikers, I better get in the kitchen and take a look at that birthday cake we're baking for Barbara.
Baking a birthday cake for Barbara in my oven? Well, how do you like that?
Well, but Joan,
I'll go in and take a look at it for you. I'm a good sport.
Sport?
Yeah, sport. S-A-P, sport.
Oh, boy, is she burned up.
Harry, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
She doesn't even suspect this party is for her.
No, she doesn't even know the birthday cake is for her. She's certain it's all for me.
Say, Harry, how are we going to get her out of the tea room?
Oh, well, don't worry about that, Andy. I fixed it with her brother-in-law, Serena's, to take her out for a walk and bring her back at 10 o'clock.
Shh, hold it, everybody. Here she comes now.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Joan, how does the cake look? Did it rise?
Nope, it fell.
Yeah. I can't understand that. I put enough yeast in it.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have stuck a straw in it to test it.
Well, Joan, that's the right way to test a cake. Stick a straw in it.
Even if it's still attached to the broom?
Wait, you did didn't do it. Joan Davis, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, don't worry, Harry. I'll bake her another one.
Well, we'd better get down to Havermeyer's department store and collect those party hats we ordered. Coming, Harry.
Coming, Rosella.
I'll go too.
And I'll drive you.
Well, a fine bunch of friends forgetting my birthday entirely and making such a fuss about Barbara Weatherby's.
Hello, Joni.
Oh, hello, Serena.
You want to go for a walk?
Go for a walk?
There's a beautiful moon out.
Full?
I haven't touched a drop.
Well, I'll go with you right after I mix up the batter for this cake for Barbara Weatherby. Serena, you want to help?
Okay, Joni.
All right, now you hand me the stuff. Eggs.
Eggs.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Vanilla.
Vidella.
No, not vanilla. Vanilla.
I said Vidella, didn't I?
All right, Vidella diddle you. Come on now. Flour.
Flour.
Yeast.
Yeast.
Butter.
Cream cheese.
Yeah, well, that'll have to do, I guess.
Oh, come on, Joni. Let's go for a walk.
Hey, wait a minute. Why am I wasting all this good stuff on Barbara Weatherby? I'll bake her a birthday cake she'll never forget. Serena's, hand me that Tabasco sauce.
Tabasco?
Yeah, now I'll add a few dashes of lighter fluid.
Lighter fluid?
Right, and next for that just right flavor, a teaspoonful of DDT.
DDT?
Now let's see. What'll I make the icing of? Oh, I got it.
What?
Drano. There. Now we'll put it into the oven. Okay, Serenas, I'm ready to go for that walk.
Walk? We better run now.
Well, it's 10 o'clock. Any sign of Joan yet, Rosella?
Not yet, Harry. But oh, how I love this waiting in the dark with your arm around me.
Mrs. Hipperton, that's my arm.
Oh.
Then whose hand am I holding?
Oh, Andy.
Quiet. Quiet, everybody. Here comes Miss Davis and Serena's.
Gee, Joni, it's dark in here.
Well, how do you like that? The party's over. They didn't even wait for me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joni. Happy birthday to you. Surprise! Surprise!
Well, say, what's this all about?
It's a surprise party for you, Miss Davis.
For me? But I thought it was for Babs.
Yeah, well, that's the surprise. We told you it was for Barbara, but all the time it was really for you.
Gee, what a surprise!
Well, what are we waiting for? Miss Weatherby, get the birthday cake out of the oven.
Uh-oh.
Here it is, Miss Davis.
Here is the cake, and as guest of honor, Joan, you get the first slice. Well, aren't you going to say anything?
Calling Dr. Gillespie. Calling Dr. Gillespie. Oh, well, let's eat the cake later, huh? Let's have some fun first.
Oh, that's a good idea, Miss Davis. Let's play some games.
Oh, say, I've got a swell game we could play. Would you like to try it with me, Rosella?
Oh, I'd love to, Harry. How does it go?
Well, first I blindfold you, and then I place a big pail of water in front of you.
Oh, I've played that game. It's called Bobbing for Apples.
No, it's called Washing with Swan. Oh, isn't that clever, the way that comes in there? And really, it's easier than bobbing for apples because Swan floats so well, you know.
Really?
You know, of course, that Swan is the new white floating soap that's 4 swell soaps in one. So mild that it's the soap for baby and for you. And Swan's so hard-working, it's the soap for dishes and light laundry, too. For baby, for you, for dishes and light laundry. Use Swan for all...
That's fine, Mr. Bonzel, but I'd rather play one of the old-fashioned games like post office.
Really, Miss Weatherby, kissing games at our age.
Well, if you don't start now, hippie, you never will.
Yeah, well, look, if you don't like that one, Rosella, maybe we can play another game I've got called Twist of the Wrist.
Twist of the wrist?
Yeah, it's a great game. You take a cake of Swan, give it a twist of the wrist, and presto, it breaks in two. Then you'll have 2 generous cakes of soap, one for the kitchen and one for the bath. You let Swan get in a lather. You take it easy. Swan will do every job in the house. What a game that is, and what a soap, too.
Well, let's forget about the games. I'd rather hear Andy sing. What do you say, Andy?
Well, instead of singing, Miss Davis, I've got a surprise for you. I'm going to play the drums.
The drums?
Yeah, I just got a job playing the drums in the college band.
Oh, fine, Andy. You play the drums and I'll play the cymbals.
Well, Joan, I didn't know you played the cymbals.
Oh, sure. Ever since I was a kid, I've been simple-minded. Boy, I'd like to see Frankie do that.
Oh, yes. Gee, if those drums ever hit Frankie back, it would be terrible. Well, what a surprise that was, though, huh? Andy Russell can really make those drums talk. Weren't you surprised, Joan?
Yeah, gee, this is a wonderful surprise party you're giving me. I wonder what's going to happen next.
Well, I'm just
surprise. Look who's here, Jack Carson. What brings you here, Jack?
Well, Joni, I was looking for a pretty girl.
Well?
Yeah, I guess I came to the wrong place.
Miss Davis, did you say Jack Carson?
Hubba. Things are looking brighter. Yes, I'm Jack Carson, little girl.
Not the Jack Carson.
Yes, the Jack Carson.
Not the famous Jack Carson.
That's right, not the famous Jack Carson. Well, did you come here to wish me happy birthday, Jack?
Well, yes, happy birthday. But I really came here about a perfumed handkerchief.
Oh, Jack, you shouldn't have had done it.
I didn't, you see.
See what I mean? Wacky, zany, and it should have clicked, but it didn't, and still really doesn't. Joan Davis, February 11th, 1946, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You know, I've told y'all how much my feet hurt from time to time, and I've also told you how much I enjoy getting to work, because right here under my desk I have a pair of my slippers. Mike Lindell's new invention with patented fill, the My Pillow fill that, he works in the pillow so well, comfort memory foam, patented impact gel, and it has an indoor-outdoor sole for all-day use. Right now, they are on sale. If you go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square, you will see My Pillow slippers at 50% off, but only for a limited time. Plus, you'll get Mike's softcover book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Use my promo code USA. Savings on overstock items too at mypillow.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the Joan Davis Show, Joni's birthday party, from February 11th, 1946.
I found a girl for my radio show, and I wanted to go east with me in my personal appearance tour, but she got away, and I don't even know her name. The only clue I have to her identity is this perfumed handkerchief. You see, this girl is the only one I know who uses this perfume.
Well, let me smell it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's called Hubba. You know her, Joan? Do you have any idea where I might find her?
Well, no, I don't, but why don't you go over to Frank Sinatra show? She might be hiding behind a pair of bobby socks.
That line was hiding in your script, I know. That's a great idea. I'll run right over that, Joan.
Well, before you go, Jack, aren't you going to wish me a really happy birthday?
Well, I did wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, yes, Jack, but when a fella wishes a beautiful girl happy birthday, he usually kisses her.
Thanks for the tip, Joan. I'll remember that. I gotta find that girl with a Hubba perfume. So long.
So long, Jack. Oh, gee, I should have offered him a hunk of that special birthday cake. He deserved it.
Oh, say, listen, we haven't heard from our guest of honor yet. Come on, Joni, you do something, huh?
No, I don't want to.
Go ahead, Miss Davis. Sing us a song.
Oh, no, I don't want to.
Oh, please, Miss Davis.
Okay, but stand back, everybody, because when I sing, a fine spray is liable to come out. Here's my story, Calypso style, how I found love on a tropical isle. I was taught it by a cannibal king. Bing! He gave his secret all to me. He told me to use it exclusively. He crowned me queen, that's why I proudly sing. Now I've a talent simply great. You don't believe me, I'll demonstrate. Did you ever hear me go, Ig-a-dag-o, Ig-a-dag-o? Some girls spoon to a popular tune. That's not for me when I'm under the moon. I just look in his eyes and go, Ig-a-dag-o, Ig-o, Ig-a-dag-o. You say it's awfully hard for you. I tell you what I'm a-gonna do. For the price of 2, I'll teach you 3. You get 1 for free. The marriage knot is being tied. The preacher says, do you take her for your bride? And the groom, let's go with Ig-a-dag I do, Ig-o, Ig-a-dag I do. Where I come from, Ig-a-do means you love me and I love you. And a kiss that usually sounds like, spelled backward, sounds like...
Joni will be back in just a moment, folks. In the meanwhile, I'll try to answer a question that's really getting around these days. Where's all the soap? Well, there just isn't enough soap to go around, and here's why it's so scarce. Soap cannot be made unless all of you save and turn in every drop of used kitchen fat. And although red points are a thing of the past, you will continue to get 4 cents in cash for every single pound of used kitchen fat you turn in. You see, used kitchen fat contains materials to make soap. And without that used fat, soap shortages cannot be prevented. So the next time you have trouble finding soap, keep in mind, when there's fat, there's soap. Yes, sir, that used fat will come back to you not only in soap, but in fabrics, nylon, and hundreds of other long-awaited items. So please keep on saving every drop, won't you? And now here's Joni again. Say, what's happening in Swanville next week, Joan?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. It's right here on page 20.
Oh, yeah, well, I just got information that there's $300 missing from the cash register in the tea room. And next week I'm going to find out who took it.
Well, have you any idea who took it?
No, but I suspect everybody.
Even me, Miss Davis.
Particularly you, hippie. I heard a rumor that you're a kleptomaniac.
That Miss Davis has absolutely no foundation.
That's just what my dressmaker says. That Miss Davis has absolutely no foundation. Well, good night, Adrian. Good night, everybody.
Stay tuned in, and in 5 minutes you'll hear the Lux Radio Theater. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
There you go. February 11th, 1946, Joan Davis on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Our U.S. Constitution is amazing. It's full of what's called negative rights, designed to protect us from the corrupt powers of a dictatorship.
Like our right to worship our own God, not some official state religion.
Our right to prevent the government from seizing our property without paying fair market value for it.
Or our right to be tried by a jury of our peers, people like us, not by some star tribunal.
And that's why America has become the richest, most just society in the world.
Other countries force so-called positive rights onto their citizens. These enable one group to take from another group their free speech, money, and choice by using government force. Socialists love wielding this power over people.
Sometimes we take our freedoms for granted, but we can lose our Bill of Rights and our Constitution and become like Venezuela or North Korea, failed, brutal socialist regimes.
We need your help to spread the good news about our amazing U.S. Constitution. Help us take back America. Go to ouramericanrights.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of the soap opera Claudia. This episode goes back to February 11th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia. Claudia, based on the play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed Monday through Friday, by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Sandwich will be 50 cents, young man.
Do you think they have a especially big number of sick people in Connecticut, David?
So many drugstores, you mean?
I counted 12 in Bridgeport before we found this one.
I'm sure we're in the one Delilah Tucker meant. It's right across the street from the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Besides of which, it has the right name.
Oh, you can't go by names in Connecticut. I'm beginning to find that out already.
Everything has the same name, you mean?
There's an East Brook and a Northeast Brook.
Then there's the Southeast Brook and Middle East Brook and East Brook Center.
Aren't we lucky there isn't a West East Brook? That would be awfully confusing for the poor brook.
I wouldn't know which end was up.
This is Dorland's Pharmacy. But I saw another Dorland's Pharmacy on the street we crossed before we crossed the one that turned into that one.
I saw that one, too. That was C.E. Dorland's, and this is E.K. Dorland's.
Related, I wonder.
Probably, if you went back to 1765.
Probably haven't been speaking to each other since 1865.
I'd be afraid to ask. I never expected to hear from Delilah Tucker today, did you?
I suppose she's just as tired as I am of the way you men have made this whole thing so complicated and mixed up, so that nobody's doing what they want to. The Tuckers want to sell the house and we want to buy it. But instead, we're all mixed up with deeds and mortgages and claims and this, that, and the other. They aren't selling and we aren't buying, and nobody's happy except Mr. Hankins, the lawyer.
Look, Claudia, nobody wants to buy this house any more than I do.
Well, why did you fight for it then? Like with the walnut tree you were so quick to give back to Mr. Jared Tucker.
But we cannot take a chance on buying a house that we can't get a clear title to. From what Hankins said, Jared Tucker doesn't have a clear title. He had a brother, and no one knows if the brother is alive or dead.
Everybody knows he's dead. Hankins knows he's dead, and Jared knows he's dead, and so does Delilah, and so do you and I. So does everybody in Eastbrook, I bet you 20 cents.
Knowing it and proving it are two different things.
If you don't sound like Miss McGacklehatton.
Who is Miss McGacklehatton?
She taught us geometry. She was always talking about proving things that anybody could see by just looking at them.
Well, I'm honored to sound like Miss McGacklehatton. She must have been a worthy and fine young woman.
She was 78.
Well, she was young in spirit. Claudia, we aren't going to put a cent of money into a house that we can't prove is ours, no matter what Delilah Tucker says.
But I know they really own the farm.
Because Delilah Tucker called up this morning and told you so?
Mm-hmm.
We must believe Hankins. He's our lawyer. Well, darling, keep your chin up. Here comes Delilah, under a full head of steam, and I've got a feeling she thinks I'm Samson.
Good day, Mrs. Norton. Good day to you, Mr. Norton.
Oh, hello, Miss Tucker.
Hello, Miss Tucker.
Sorry I kept you waiting here. That car of Jared's is getting more and more like he is every day. Getting so you can't hardly move it at all.
I had no idea you drove a car, Miss Tucker.
How's that?
I said I had no idea you drove a car.
You sound just like my brother Jared. He got no idea that I drive either. But I taught myself to drive 20 years ago. Got tired telling Jared how to do it, so I went out and learned for myself.
Well, that's fine.
Do you want to stay here, Miss Tucker, or do you want to go somewhere else?
How's that, young woman? Can't you quit that mumbling?
Do you want to stay here, I said.
Stay here? With all the noise in here? Not me. We're going out to my car, where we can talk without being disturbed any.
That'll be fine.
I'm awfully glad you called us, Miss Tucker.
My wife means that we are very much interested still in buying the house, provided we can get a clear title to it.
Don't know what the trouble with you city fellows is. You can't seem to talk so as a body can hear you. Guess down in New York, you ain't got nobody to say that anybody else is interested in. What a fine neighborly place that must be. Well, are you coming?
Are you sure you don't want to sit in our car?
Sure, I'm sure. My car's right in front here, and I'm not aiming to miss Rupert Hankins when he gets here.
Did you say Rupert Hankins was meeting us here?
What's the matter, Mr. Norton? You don't hear so good?
Did she tell you that on the phone?
She did not. Do you have any idea what it means? All she told me was to meet her here at the drugstore.
And all Hankins told us was that she was too anxious to sell the house in the first place.
Well, are you coming or ain't you?
We're coming, Miss Tucker.
How's it?
We're coming.
That's speaking up, young fella. That's the way I like to hear you talk.
Isn't it awfully cold for you today, Miss Tucker?
Cold? Ain't had a cold in 20 years. With that brother of mine, got to nurse him like he was a hothouse plant. Men.
That's the car, isn't it?
This here's my car.
Isn't the motor running?
I hope the motor's running. If it stops running, the three of us will never get it started again.
It's running.
What's the matter with you, young fella? Don't you think I can see that for myself? Well, the door's open. Get in.
You better get in first, Miss Tucker.
Good idea.
David, you better close the door. Maybe that way we can all keep warm.
I'm afraid it's going to be a little crowded in here.
Close the door, young fella.
I'll try. So cramped in here, I can't get a good swing.
Now, if you two will stop interrupting me, we'll get something done around here.
We haven't interrupted. Go ahead, Miss Tucker.
That there country lawyer, that Rupert Hankins, told you we didn't have a clear title to our land because nobody knows if our brother Samuel's alive or dead.
That's right. What's that?
There goes my motor.
Well, we'll help you start it.
Oh, don't interrupt me. Samuel's dead. The house is ours. We're selling it to you. But if I told you that, you'd change your mind and go ahead with it.
Is that all?
Of course that's all.
Where did Samuel die?
We don't know, but he did die.
Did he leave any children?
You're asking an awful lot of questions, young fella.
Now, look here, Miss Tucker.
Young fella, I asked you to stop mumbling.
If you haven't got any proof, Miss Tucker, I'm afraid we can't do anything else but forget the whole thing and go back to New York.
Well, young man, if that's the way you feel about it, I guess that's that.
Oh, that isn't the way we feel about it, Miss Tucker. That's the way Mr. Hankins makes us feel.
Claudia, we can't buy a house unless we get
I know that, David. Miss Tucker, isn't there any way you can prove that Samuel is dead?
Nope. We can prove it doesn't matter any.
You can, Miss Tucker?
Stop mumbling.
What did you say?
I said Jed, and I have a paper that proves it don't matter none whether Samuel's dead or alive, nor how many children he had. Samuel gave up all rights to that place, and we can prove it.
You can?
Does that help any, David?
Does it help? Why, if it's true, it means we can buy the house.
Miss Tucker, what kind of a paper is it?
Now, see here. Jed don't want me to show you this paper. I've been fighting with that obstinate old man for a week.
We believe it, Miss Tucker, but we've got to show it to Mr. Hankins.
That's what I've been arguing with that stubborn old mule about for 10 days. He don't even know I won. But you let me worry about that. Here it is, Mr. Norton.
Let's see. This is a quitclaim, dated July 5th, 1906. It is signed by Samuel Tucker, and it renounces on his behalf and for all his heirs and assigns any claim he may have on both your farms.
That's what it says, all right. Your husband sure can read, Miss Norton. Lucky thing Jed don't know who's got it.
Is it all right, David?
Is it? It looks fine. It looks as though this is just what Hankins needs. It guarantees the title. Why, he can get it insured without a bit of trouble.
Miss Tucker, you've certainly been wonderful. I don't know what we would have done without you.
Now, you listen to me, you two. You ain't to talk to anyone about this. We show it to Hankins, but we don't tell that blabbermouth a thing.
Tell him, but we don't know anything.
Why didn't Jared want us to see it?
You got to promise you won't let no one ever know how Jed got it.
We promise.
Jed's ashamed of that quitclaim because he won it in a poker game on Independence Day when he should have been parading with the fire volunteers.
Oh.
A poker game? That could happen to anyone.
Sam was the black sheep of our family, and Jed, well, nobody in Eastbrook knows Jed even played poker. But he don't want him to know now.
But still,
Miss... if you ever breathe a word of this to anyone, I tell you, I'd like to have you young people for my neighbors. It's going to be a nice change from that stubborn old man. You see, my brother Sam was a no-good. He got Jed drunk, and he thought he'd take the farm away from him, though Jed was the older. So he got Jed to play poker with a deck of cards that belonged to our father. Jed won the house with 4 aces to Sam's 4 kings. And it wasn't till next day after Sam left for good that Jed found there was an extra ace in Daddy's deck of cards. What'd you say?
I didn't
I didn't either, Miss Tucker.
Well, there's that old blabbermouth Hankins coming over here. Just in time.
Hello, Miss Delilah. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Norton. Hello, Mr. Hankins. Well, a lot has happened since the last time we met. Maybe. I'd like to read you this quitclaim executed by Samuel Tucker. And see if you don't feel as I do that this clears the title to the land.
You mean to read it, eh? I, Samuel Tucker, for the sum of $1 in hand, paid, and other good and valuable consideration. Well, Mr. Norton, that's exactly what it does.
Well, that's fine. Well, we've wasted a lot of time already, and I certainly don't see any point of wasting any more.
You're perfectly right, Mr. Norton.
Thank you. I have here in my pocket a certified check which I hand to Miss Tucker. You have the deed. I suggest that we all go across to the courthouse where Miss Tucker will sign the deed, and then you, Mr. Hankins, can have it duly registered.
I'm going with you, but then you've got to come back here and help me start my car.
We'll love it, Miss Tucker.
That's a right neighborly thing to say.
Neighborly? Well, since we own the house, I guess that's what we are now, eh, Miss Tucker?
I expect you're going to be right good neighbors, too.
We'll try very hard to be good ones, Miss Tucker. Well, David, aren't you going to take me to the county courthouse?
You certainly had ought to, Mr. Norton, as a landowner, taxpayer of this county, and a prospective voter, Republican, ain't you? The lady's got every right to see it. Come with me, Mrs. Norton.
This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. When the butcher is fresh out of the meat you'd counted on for dinner, when the salad greens are droopy and you're inclined to feel likewise, pause for an ice-cold Coke and refresh yourself. There's probably one of those familiar red coolers for Coca-Cola right in your food store. You'll find them around the corner from almost anywhere today, and you'll find it's grand to be able to shop refreshed.
Such a sweet little show, Claudia, as it was originally broadcast on February 11th, 1948, and it looks like they're going to get out of the city, doesn't it? Here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Our podcast situation is pretty much resolved. We're back up everywhere we used to be, including on TuneIn. So you can find our podcast, but you've got to look for the new name. The new name is Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You can hear our show anywhere on demand. If you miss a day, you do not have to miss a show. You can also hear the show up at classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand. You can learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there. We also have links to our social media pages. classicradio.stream. Please do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that have allowed us to be with you each and every time we roll around and have enabled us to be here for these many years. And please do me a favor and tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, right here on your favorite radio station.